Looking forward to seeing all of those that are going to be there at that event. We have 90 minutes of straight training to deliver to you. Last week, we talked about conversations, all businesses conversation, filling the funnel, and I hope you took that seriously. We'll talk about that in a moment. But before we do, and before we get into this week's training, which is what to do with all those conversations, I have a few very quick announcements. First, the replays and the handouts in English are available everywhere. Spanish translations are up as well. The localized replays and handouts on Herbalife Premier League are coming for Europe, Africa, and APAC, and are available or will be available this week. So for last week's replay, so you encourage everybody to join the call in person whenever you can. So you get the information. The replays take a bit of time because it's like 56 languages. It's going to be quicker for the next calls as we have some AI translation process established. So yeah, something happens when you're this huge. Takes a bit of time to put everything together, but the team's working around the clock to deliver the best to you at all times. I would also tell you, I'll tell you that in a moment. I'd like you to do a couple things. One is let me know. We had a conversation challenge this last week. Let me know, how many conversations did you start? How many conversations did you start? Put into the chat, what's the number? How many conversations did you start? And if the chat bothers you, you can always minimize it. So you don't have to look at it, but it helps me to see how many. Look at all these numbers. A lot of big numbers inside of this chat. Congratulations, because all business is what? All business is conversation. And do the number of conversations that you have started in the last 7 days, do they match your ambitions in building your Herbalife business? Because I will tell you something. What you started this last week is something that you should always be doing, always be in conversation, because you don't want to fill the funnel, then empty the funnel, and then fill it again, empty it again. Always be adding conversations, always be adding conversations. We had something like 120,000 people watch last week's training, and it looks to me like our average conversations was about 100 conversations per person. So that's something like 12 million conversations happened in the last 7 days. Just connecting with other human beings. Just connecting. So people are asking about the Hindi translation in the chat. I don't know if there's an issue there or not, but pass it on. So congratulations for starting those conversations. I know sometimes that takes some courage to be able to do. I know it did for me. It scared me having those conversations. Even when they were just normal conversations, it still intimidated me as an introverted person. But second question I want to ask you before we get into this is, are you committed to qualifying for Premier League? Put a 1 in the chat if you're committed to qualifying for Premier League. This is an absolute commitment. This is an absolute solid. It's not just a goal. It's an intention that you're going to make this happen. Well, let me quickly just walk you through Premier League again, very, very quickly, because you can find this in your back office. But how to qualify. The back office will tell you how you qualify, how you get signed up. Go to myherbalife.com. Get yourself qualified. Sooner you qualify, the faster you get the benefits and the longer you get the benefits. And all the perks and benefits, the events, the gifts, the recognition. What I'm most excited about is for those who qualify, I'm going to have an ongoing training relationship with you, and I'm going to be delivering an advanced leadership development training program for all people who qualify for the Herbalife Premier League. This is serious training. because what I believe is I think everything rises and falls on leadership. As you become a stronger leader, as you teach other people how to become strong leaders, that's going to be the strength of your business. That's going to help you do what you need to do in order to be successful. And also, as we start, I would ask all of you to join the Herbalife Premier League channel now on HLF CEO, at HLF CEO on Instagram. HLF CEO. That's going to give you program updates, recognition, and announcements. Make sure that you join and follow that channel. So let me talk to you about the training schedule and the topics, and then we'll get into it. Last week we talked about filling the funnel, starting as many conversations. We finished last week with the conversation challenge. How many conversations are you willing to have? Are you prepared to have in order to be able to ultimately educate people so they understand what we're doing? This week we're going to talk about how to introduce Herbalife to those prospects. How you introduce Herbalife to those prospects. How do they understand what you have? How do you educate them? Then next week, I'm going to teach you specifically how to enroll. How to enroll those prospects and enroll them into distributors. We're going to be focused on business builders, not just enrolling customers, but enrolling distributors. And then week 4, this is a special training that you have to qualify for, is about duplication, radical duplication, to get people into action on your team. But you can't get into that training unless you've personally recruited frontline at least one new distributor since January 1st. Okay? And then next month in May, on May 21st, we're going to have the first ever Premier League Advanced Leadership Development Training and that I'm going to be delivering. But that's normally going to be for only Premier League, fully qualified Premier League people. But next month, one time, we're going to let people who are halfway there, who have at least 5 personally sponsored people with 250 volume points each, if you have at least 5 of those, then we're going to let you into this first ever Premier League Leadership Development Training and let you get a taste of what that's all about. Okay, so that's the schedule. Next, let's recap real quickly what we went through last week. All business is conversation. All business is conversation. There's 4 things that we do. 4 things that we do in Herbalife. 1, we sell valuable products using word-of-mouth advertising. 2, we recruit an ever-expanding team of other people who are also selling. 3, we duplicate the process. And 4, we lead the teams that we build. Our overall goal, and I want you to just make sure you get solid on this. Our ultimate goal is education and understanding. It's not sales. It's not recruiting. It's not even rank advancement. It's just education. If you as a professional focus on education and understanding, then you're going to win. You're going to win. If you educate enough people, they know what you have in your hands with Herbalife, with the products and with the opportunity. Once they know what you have, it's going to be easy for them to make a decision. It's going to be much harder for them to judge what you have because what you have is so amazing. And again, I will say, with the conversation challenge, keeping the funnel full at all times. Keep the funnel full at all times. So I have a question for all of you as we start part 2. How long have you been involved in Herbalife in number of years? How many years have you been involved? How many years? Take a look. It's a lot of history. Everybody from brand new to decades have been involved in this company, and it's part of the legacy that's made this company great. And if you know anything about Mark Hughes' training, you'll know that Mr. Hughes trained 3 specific things. Do you know what those 3 specific things are? Use the products. Wear the swag, wear the button, and talk to people. This is why the conversation challenge shouldn't be so foreign to you. He was telling you 44 years ago, talk to people, talk to people, talk to people. Nothing happens until you talk to people. Use, wear, and talk. Use, wear, and talk. Use, wear, and talk. So, we started the conversation challenge, and this week we're going to get into introducing Herbalife to your prospects. What are you going to do with all those conversations that you've started? Now, I got to take you back to when I first got started in network marketing. I had this perception that when I signed up, I thought people would at least take a look. I thought I have this opportunity. If I call them, they'd at least take a look. They'd be willing to do that. And I found out that that was not true. People were not willing to look. I would call them up and I'd say, hey, I have an opportunity for you. And they'd say, I'm not interested. And I would say, you don't even know what I'm going to say. They said, yeah, still, I'm not interested. So what I've learned over the last 36 years is inviting people to take a look is the gateway skill. If you don't figure this out, if you don't learn how to invite people to take a look, then your chances are really, really, really small to build any kind of business. That's your job. Your job is to educate people to the point that they understand what you have. That's your job. This is the gateway skill. If you master this skill, you're on your way. And tonight, today, this morning, wherever you are in